Hey students, before we get started with the show, I wanted to ask for your help. I'm currently producing my third term film, The Editor, which will be my final project at the Harold Ramis Film School, and I'm fundraising to cover some of the costs of the production. I would love it if you would check out my Indiegogo at igg.me/at/theeditorfilm, which you can also just click on in the notes for today's show, and donate if you can, but even if you can't, please share the link on your social media accounts. I would very much appreciate it. All right, cue the music. Welcome to episode 40 of the Film Student Podcast. I'm your host, Tony Lazzeroni. My guest this week is Matt Haas from the Yellow Cohort. We discuss directing versus showrunning for TV, Matt's upcoming show at the Second City, and the amazing schedule of guest speakers we have lined up for this week at HRFS. On with the show.
I actually went to the first open house for the Harold Ramis Film School and wanted to apply from that moment, but I didn't feel like I had material that was good enough to get me into this prestigious school.
Okay.
So I started working on my craft and trying to get better at it. And of course,
Was that filmmaking? Was that stand-up? Was that...
filmmaking, that was when I did a little bit of improv at the time, but mostly filmmaking, and I was trying to get my improv troupe to do all of my acting for it, and people don't like to act for free. So it was...
This is a recurring problem for most of us.
It was hard to get them to show up all the time, so eventually I got some like practice films done and some things that I was happy with, and then I started working on my Harold Ramis application.
Yeah.
And when I finally sent one in, I got accepted that time.
What was in your application?
I did a VH1 Behind the Music parody.
Okay.
About an 80s rock band called Tyrannosaurus Sex.
Okay.
And the lead singer overdoses because of his pudding addiction. And it's like a look back, like there's older people playing the surviving band members.
Yeah.
And they like talk about the good old days and stuff like that.
Okay. And who'd you do? Were they still doing for the writing sample? Did you still have to write about your comedic influences? That's what mine was.
Yeah. We had 3 options that we could choose from, and I kind of cheated and took like an essay. I was in a film class at the time, and I took an essay from that and like transformed it a little bit. Like an essay I had got like a 99% or something on. I was really happy with it. And I transformed a little bit of the essay into the prompt that they wanted.
Yeah.
And pretty much I just shit on parody films. Can I swear?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I just shit on parody films because they fucking suck.
Yeah.
Like, not all of them, obviously. Like, I'm a huge Mel Brooks fan, and like it peaks at Scary Movie for me.
Okay.
And
Mel Brooks also gets into that's like parody satire combo, like that, because especially like Blazing Saddles is brilliant, and there's but so much of it is just the satire, and the parody's just thrown in for like extra little easy jokes along the way.
True. Yeah, it's that straight up parody film that's like, let's make a movie and then put movie at the end of the title and then squeeze 40 movie references in
Somehow, yeah.
and that's the plot of the film. So that's what my essay was about.
Were you so you said you went to the first open house. Are you from this area originally, or?
I'm from Southwest Michigan, and I honestly can't even remember how the information came to me. Maybe it was an email. I had recently seen my first show at Second City. I had like come out here from Michigan, and again, it was like the same time that I had started doing improv in Michigan at community college, and did a little bit of sketch writing and some filmmaking and stuff like that at a really beginner stage.
Yeah.
And came out to Second City because I was just then discovering, like, oh, people from Saturday Night Live used to do improv. They're connected and things like that. So I came and saw a show, and within a matter of like 2 months, I'm not certain how, but I found out about the open house and came out for it.
Gotcha.
That's
it's like Saturday Night Live. Is that like kind of your path? Do you want to be the performer, creator, or?
I'm much more of a writer in my head. Yeah, I struggle with, like, I enjoy acting. It's fun. I enjoy improv a lot more than like acting.
Right.
So I don't think so. I think if I wound up on SNL and I had a choice, I would rather just write, maybe do like some update bits or something like that, rather than like doing like a week worth of makeup, costume.
Is your sensibility more towards like sketch and that sort of thing, or do you tend to be like longer form?
Longer form, yeah. I do enjoy sketch writing a lot, but right now I'm focusing a lot of my energy towards practicing long form writing, like writing for series and features.
Nice. Have you started like ideas for a final project? Because I'd heard you all have to start pitching soon for what you would want to do for like a final written project. And it's scary.
It is.
I can see the fear on your face now.
Yeah. we had the Fisher Quick Pitch Day.
Yeah.
And Jim Fisher, Second City alumni, came in and he discussed with us our pitches and gave us some tips and things like that. And I made the very rookie mistake in my pitch of not saying at the beginning, this is a series. So I pitched my idea, and he was giving me solutions that I didn't feel like they fit, and I didn't think I was getting what I needed out of this thing, and I was a little disappointed. And like 10, 15 minutes later, somebody else pitched something that I knew was a series, but he then called it a feature. So I raised my hand, and I was like, hey, to clarify between the two of you, you're talking about a series, right? But you're talking about a feature?
Yeah.
And then Kat let it be known that we should say that at the beginning of the pitch. What before you say your idea, say what your idea is.
It's there's a lot here that's kind of meant to give you just enough rope to hang yourself. Like,
that's
you're going to make the mistake, but there's no way to prepare you for every possibility ahead of time. You just kind of have to make the mistake, and like that's why it's a school. Like, just make the mistake, get it over with, and move on. When I did the Fisher, we did the Fisher workshop that was together. It was Cyan and Magenta grouped together for it. And one of my classmates, like, because I did my pitch for what I actually wound up writing for my term 3, and I did my pitch for it, and the pitch, we got Jim Fisher later than we were supposed to, so the pitch was like after we'd already kind of started putting together other materials for it. Like, we've kind of gotten past pitch, and then we went back to pitching, and so I'd already put like a lot of work into it and figured out most of the story. And so my pitch changed a little bit. And when I pitched it, it was like, oh, it doesn't really work. And then he just started throwing out like all these other ideas for something that I already had like the outline for. And so one of my classmates took a picture of me just looking miserable while I'm listening to a room full of people pitch out ideas to fix the thing that wasn't done yet. That was like, you know, that was already kind of laid out, but wasn't written yet. So those classes they can be tough. But hopefully, like, at least the basis of it, just the pitch format and being able to put that together was helpful for you.
Oh, definitely. The school, like you said, like it's you're blindfolded and they're guiding you down a set of stairs. Like, you're gonna fall, but there's enough people around you that care about you to keep you from like really hurting yourself. Yeah. You're just gonna get really scared for a second. You're still hitting that next step, but you're like gonna freak out between one step to the next.
Yeah.
It was still so helpful, and failing is the best way to learn, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's why they have you do so many projects, even when people aren't really ready to start making things. Like term 1, they just come in immediately and they're like, "Here's a nonfiction piece. Just go make this." And you're like, "I've never done anything like that before." They're like, "Doesn't matter. Just go make it. We'll see what works."
That seems to be like the theme here. See what works.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, that's okay. But if it did, you found something that works for you that you wouldn't have found without exploring these new boundaries.
Well, they eventually get you into trying to find your comedic voice, which is, I think, really a unique part of this. Is every other school that I've ever done any kind of writing stuff or anything like that, was more about writing within a given format or with a given angle or something like that. It wasn't about finding your format, finding your angle, finding your delivery method. And that's the tough thing, is that they can't just have somebody read your stuff or watch you in class and be able to say, you're this kind of writer. Like, you have to kind of find that for yourself. And it's just through that trial and error, reiteration, just make more and more stuff until you find that path.
Yeah, certainly. The thing that impresses me most about this school program is that you're encouraged to do new things, but that's a lot of places. You're encouraged to support each other, but that's a lot of places. You're encouraged to fail, and that's less places.
Mm-hmm.
But the real standout thing is, like you said, like shaping you as an individual. How do you fit into what you want to do? Not how can we fit you into what you want to do. You're a puzzle piece, and you fit in this puzzle just somewhere, and we need to figure out where that is. We're not going to force you into the wrong spot.
Right. And it's interesting too, because I think people learn different things based on their cohort, and the people that you're around, because you're going to pick up things that you like or don't like from what they do,
Mm-hmm.
and that will end up influencing what you end up creating in the long run too.